Have you ever wondered how somebody gets enough nutrients while attempting to hike the Appalachian Trail? Hey, I'm Dave, and in less than 30 days, I will be leaving to hike or attempt to hike the Appalachian Trail. And to make things a little more difficult on myself, I've decided to attempt the AT using a mainly animal-based carnivore diet. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 points. First, what's in my resupply boxes? Second, how I'm attempting to keep the food fresh and not spoil, as most animal-based products are kind of designed to spoil pretty quickly. And 3, will I get enough nutrients following this animal-based strategy? But first, you might be wondering, is there enough variety following an animal-based diet, especially one when you take it out on the road, you're traveling all the time, you're away from, your creature comforts? Well, let me talk to you about the boredom that I had when I was following my sugar addicted lifestyle. First, I'd get up in the morning, I'd go get my Diet Coke. Then I would drive over from McDonald's over to Dunkin' Donuts, and I'd get a donut or 2 or 3, like I've said this in the past. And then at lunch, I would probably hit a convenience store, grab some pizza, or bring some leftovers from home. And then on the way home, well, before that, I'd get another Diet Coke. And on the way home, I'd get another Diet Coke. And then I would eat dinner, and then I'd probably have some ice cream. So that was a pretty boring existence, and especially one that wasn't very nutritious. And yes, I am the type of person who is an all or nothing type of person. I either eat really good or I eat really bad. So I've chosen to stick with the animal-based carnivore diet because that keeps me away from my sugar addictions. And with that said, let's get to my 3 points. First, what is in my resupply boxes? So for many months, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about what I'm going to put in my resupply boxes. And the first one is jerky, and that's what I'm going to be using as my snacks throughout the day. I'll have jerky or pepperoni as another snack. Pepperoni is going to go into my resupply boxes because I bought a whole bunch in bulk, and that's not going to go bad very quickly. I'm going to pair that with cheese sticks or some form of cheese to help me get through in between meals. The other foods that I'm taking are powdered eggs and freeze-dried meats such as chicken, sausage, and cubed beef. I'll also be taking some pemmican, even though I don't really like the taste of it. I'm going to try it for a little while, and I can always make more. It's a pretty easy recipe. And I'm going to have Spam, and Spam comes in single serving packets, and I was able to get a really good deal on the Spam. The final thing is, I said earlier, is pepperoni. I'll have pepperoni in my resupply boxes. So that pretty much covers what I'm going to put in my resupply boxes as far as some simple foods. And what I've done with the freeze-dried foods, I have put those in Mylar sealable bags. They're odor-proof. They are sealed, and I do have a deoxidizer in them. As far as the powdered eggs, I have those in vacuum sealed pouches. I tried to flatten out the powdered eggs the best I could, and I've also vacuum sealed my beef jerky. So hopefully those will stay long enough for me to be able to use them out on the trail. But what am I going to do when I get into town? Well, I'm going to go to a restaurant, most likely. It could be a sit-down restaurant, or it could be McDonald's. And with McDonald's, I can get beef patties for pretty cheap. I'll probably get 4 or 5 of those, which is roughly 1,000 calories. Plus, I'll add some of their whipped butter so that way I can have a little additional fat. Or if I go to a restaurant, I'll probably get some wings or steak or hamburger, cheeseburger if they have cheddar and whatnot. And I will probably get an iced coffee or two while I'm in town. I don't know if you've heard, I just started drinking iced coffee about 2 or 3 months ago because I got off of the Diet Coke, and now I enjoy doing that. But I am weaning myself off now for when I hit the trail. If you get value from the content of my video, please remember to like and subscribe, share it to those who you think might benefit from it. I would appreciate that. And to point number 2, how will I keep the food safe from spoiling? As I've already mentioned, I'm using Mylar bags with deoxidizers. I'm also vacuum sealing my bags, and even the pemmican, I'm going to keep that in a dry place right now so that it doesn't attract any moisture, and then I will seal it up and then have my wife ship it to me. The other thing I'm doing, and this is if you're a survival type person or a prepper, you already know this. I have a big tub and I'm putting all of it in. It's an opaque tub, and I'm going to put all of my stuff in there, close it up, and then I will keep it in my basement where it is probably 55 degrees right now. And that's why, if you haven't noticed, as it became winter, I've been wearing jackets and sweaters down in my basement because this room isn't very well heated. But I'll also have my wife ship me boxes for my resupplies roughly every 2 weeks. Before I kind of go on to the next point, I'm going to be using resupply boxes every 2 weeks. I'm going to put in roughly 10 days of resupply because I expect to be off the trail 1 or 2 days, if not 3 days during that period of time, and I don't want to have too much. But the food that I'm going to carry in that 10 days, I'm looking at carrying anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 calories per day of resupply. And then when I go into town, I can augment that supply with more of the perishable items. My final point is answering the question, will I get enough nutrients while eating an animal-based carnivore diet? Let me tell you a little story. I was speaking with a gentleman who had completed the Appalachian Trail sometime in 1990s-ish, and he told me that he smelled like ammonia when he got to Maine. And so I looked that up, and there's a lot of research on why people smell like ammonia. My understanding is if your body is breaking down proteins or muscle for energy, then one of the byproducts is ammonia. And there are other reasons, of course, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm basing it on that. And I guess by doing an animal-based diet, I am going to be getting enough protein or amino acids in my diet to not have to use my own. I know that if you don't get enough carbohydrate or fat, if you're on a carb diet or a high-fat diet, then that is supposed to be your main energy source and not using your muscles for energy, which I think this gentleman was. But again, I'm not a scientist. So with that said, I've been following this animal-based carnivore diet for 8 or 9 months. I have plenty of energy on my hikes. I expect to continue to have plenty of energy on my hikes. And if I'm getting enough calories, I believe I'm getting enough nutrients based on the study that I did on my animal-based diet. And if you haven't already, I'm going to have a link in the description as well as the link at the end card. And you can check that one out next. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And as always, happy hiking. And yes, less than 4 weeks before I leave for the Appalachian Trail. And I'm so excited. I'm so psyched. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and hit your bucket list.